You don't know what I've been through. Lost it all in my rent's due. Trouble, when it rains it floods. In my pain, no it ain't all good. No, but I tell them this, I'm a witness that everything gets made new. So tell them, dog, I ain't through. Feels like this life just became a fight. Yeah, I'm in and ain't no way out. The pressure's on me, yeah, the stressure's on me. But tell them who ain't gon' crack.
To go about everywhere we ever wanted, we went to Oklahoma a couple times and Moab and all over the U.S. Opens and junior high and high school rodeos. And I wish I would have won a lot more, but I did all right. I won enough to keep going, I guess.
We're on a rodeo scholarship, right? Full ride? What happened the day of Wyatt's accident? What were you told?
That they rolled a truck. He was thrown out of it.
Drinking and driving and there was said to be people that left the accident, so nobody really knows the real reason.
But you do know you guys have been out drinking.
Oh yeah.
The group of you, have you been roping?
Yeah, we were in Perryton for the college rodeo. And that's kind of a dry town, so we had to go across into Oklahoma there to find a bar and just being dumb kids.
Why did you choose to drink?
I guess you could say, I don't know, I mean, just a dumb choice being a kid, not knowing the full consequences of what could happen and just thinking everybody's at that bulletproof age once in life, and then when something happens, you kind of tend to step back and assess the situation a little more. Well, I think everybody knows what can happen, but it's just never going to happen to me. I think that's the mentality 90% of the kids in the world have. Oh, because parents can warn you and warn you and warn you, but kids, you know how they are. Well, that'll never happen to me. I'm bulletproof. Nothing can stop me. That was my thoughts anyways.
What was it like to get that phone call?
It was, when they first called, and I thought, I wonder what the heck he got it, what he's done now. I didn't think it was a wreck. Then it was a wreck, then it was like, but they never told me that about the head injury. They said that he'd shattered his pelvis and he's flying into Dallas. And it was the next call from the doctor when they started saying they flew from Amarillo to Dallas with the head injury. It was makes your heart drop. No, can't even imagine. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning when they called him. They had him short-term acute care, and they just said, "You guys need to figure out what to do because we're not. You can't stay here." We had to have an air ambulance flying home, and you couldn't ride it.
Right.
You couldn't ride it in the ambulance or in. I mean, that's another thing. Here you are, clear down in Dallas, Texas, and they say you guys need to figure out how to get him home and his condition he was in. Right.
And it's been 8 years?
8 years, yeah.
And how many surgeries?
13 or 15, I don't know.
13 to 15 surgeries.
Yeah.
And you have a traumatic brain injury from being thrown out of the truck.
Not wearing a seatbelt.
Not wearing a seatbelt.
You never know what a brain injury is like until you go through it yourself. I mean, it's unreal.
He messed up the mainframe of his brain. Basically, what it was he was through 75 feet from the truck, and what he had is like the shaking baby seat. Like, that's basically what he had. And then like the brain injury, that's one of the things that's hard for, until you've been around a brain injury, they're just they're different. You know, that they just, like I said, he won't. If he probably won't make a year. He'll get an infection. You know, if he comes out of this coma, he'll be like a little kid again. They said he'd never be able to go back to school. As soon as we got it to Utah, we got it thrown in. We got there about 9 o'clock on Wednesday night. The next morning, he was still in his coma. Or, I don't know. Some say he was awake. Some, and they started setting him up. So I mean, he had to learn how to do everything. I mean, swallow everything all over again. And they started setting him up, putting ice in his mouth, applesauce.
It was just more frustrating than anything. Because I mean, I know how to walk. It's just getting my body to do it is the hardest part.
They told you you'd never walk again.
Never. Heck, they said I would never wake up.
How long were you in a coma for?
I think, I don't know, a month and a half or 2 months.
Waking up in the hospital, was it kind of scary at first?
Well, it was like, because I had, when I first woke up, I knew I was in a hospital, but I was like, why am I in a hospital? And why is nobody here to see me? It was weird, because like when I woke up in my coma, I could remember all the people like it was just yesterday, but I had no memory of college. I mean, it was very, very vague, you know. I had no recollection of what had happened. It was just kind of a real uncomfortable, you know. I mean, being in the hospital, not even having any idea why or who or what, you know.
I mean, I'll guarantee you there's days I flat wore out. You know. Right.
So,
You know, taking care of him, especially when he was in the hospital for 7 months after the wreck. And I brought him home in May of 2012, and I had to have an air bed for him. The nurse would come give him a bed bath on Wednesday, and then me and my sister would stick him in this special shower there I had to buy and wheel him back in the back. You know, once a week, give him a shower.
There's days like today, I mean, it seemed like earlier everything I would do, nothing would go right. And I mean, just awful frustrating. But you know, I don't ever really get like sad or nothing. I mean, it's just what happened has already happened, so just keep moving forward, you know. I mean,
what do you think your biggest day-to-day struggle is?
getting on my horse is probably one of the biggest, toughest things.
Right.
I have to have help with that, and everything else I kind of can figure out how to get done, but getting on my horse is still, I've yet to master that.
Right.
I wish I could teach her how to kneel down, then that would make it easier to get on it.
Between the two of you, what's your biggest struggle from day to day? Because of this head injury, brain injury.
I don't know every day. I mean, every day's it's not really a struggle. I mean, we call it all a journey, you know. I mean, probably the biggest struggle was working, taking him to Salt Lake 3 days a week. You know, getting called out, take care of him. I mean, well, they said that's what flared up the MS was the stress. You know, like they told me, he said he probably had MS for 10 years. It was just
one thing triggered.
You know, just took a little bit, you know, and I think it was more, it's more like physical stress than mental stress, you know. I mean, it's been a journey. I mean, you
Had a
know,
huge impact on your life. What kind of impact do you think it's had on your family?
I know it's kind of been a little frustrating for everybody, I think, but at the same time, I think it's kind of opened a lot of eyes, you know. And I mean, I think it's made a lot of people realize that, you know, not every day is a given day.
Yeah.
You never know what, something could happen today that could be the end of anything, you know. I mean, it's just, I think it made a lot of people realize how precious life really is. I know another thing, like Ned Nash, he was telling us that he got in the truck to go roping with a bunch of guys, and the first thing they all did was put their seatbelts on. No, I mean, and nobody, I mean, you know, most living life every day, you're like, well, I don't need to put my seatbelt on, nothing's gonna happen, you know?
Right.
But I mean, I think it made a lot of people realize that it's probably not a bad idea to put your seatbelt on. I think, I mean, that's probably one of the biggest lessons that's the first thing I do every time I get in the vehicle now.
What's been the biggest impact?
Oh, well, probably West Progress.
The girl that found him and did CPR?
Yeah, they was right behind the wreck. You know, they went down and checked the wreck out, and there wasn't nobody around the truck. And then they heard him moaning. They went and found him.
And she was the one that found me and gave me CPR and got there and waited until the ambulance. And
She was a pretty cool guy. Oh, he got it. He. Let's put it this way: I was fortunate enough to have somebody like her come along right behind. And I mean, she probably has just as much to do with him still being here as anybody.
High school kids, college kids. What do you have to say to them now if they're thinking about going out partying?
well, first off, I would say, don't do it. But I mean, not everybody's gonna do it. I mean, probably one of the best things, be as smart as you can about the choices you make, you know. I mean, don't get in the vehicle with somebody and drive when you've been drinking or with somebody that has been drinking. And I mean, just be respectful in life, you know, and wear your seatbelts and treat people like the way you want to be treated, you know. I mean, because you never know when people are going to have to be there for you more than you think. That's probably what I would say. I mean,
You know, that's a lot. You know, because I mean, Wyatt, he has had a lot of support and a lot of help through this. You know,